Justin Amazon here, taking a look at Amazon. Today opened up on the hourly, looked like an amazing gap up, clearing this candle, and was a gap and go on the hourly, bullish. I did figure out how to turn off the pre-market, and you can see it a lot clearer here that the open at 1519.51 was clearing the high here of 1517.90, and looked like an incredible open. I mean, even this first candle, just charging higher, making a new all-time high for the open market. If you look at pre-market though, or look at the extended hours, we'll switch back to the extended hours. You can see it did make that other high at 1529. I think it was yesterday morning. Yeah, so it is February 28th, 2018. And take a look at, it still looked great. The location was moving up. We'll zoom in on the 5-minute next. And just looking at, these levels, we were clearing, the open was clearing these highs here. There was opening there, and straddling basically the pivots that were the highs from yesterday. Made some incredible made some incredible opening candles. And I was driving during all of this, but I saw it. I'm like, wow, look at these candles. High wave, and then some buying candles holding that low. If I was watching, or if I was trading it or available to trade, I would have set my trigger just above this with a low probably down here. So like 1521 by 1517, and then the next candle, next couple candles, just an incredible breakout, just charging higher, breaking above the pre-market highs from today, and looks like it was just roaring higher. So I was seeing it around here, realizing this is doing the same setup, very bullish on the hourly. Still, if you look back at the daily, we're an inside day candle, or making a new high, but still, it looked like it was a great gap on the hourly, and that's how I was trading it aggressive. So came in here, I think oops, using the wrong arrow, made this candle, and then it's like, okay, let's get in, make sure it's going to go higher. I did it again. Wrong arrow, and did that candle. I'm like, all right, great, let's get in. So I got in, and this was I think this was the candle, almost the candle making all-time highs. I think this one was. I actually ended up getting in on this candle at 9:20. I felt like I traded like a noob, and it just sunk, stopped right back out. It's like, okay, that totally did not work. Similar setup here, just different location. This consolidation here, kind of this, just this chop, and then breaking out, and just came back down and down. I think some more. Yeah, just kept coming back down. We'll zoom back out to the rest of the day. I came all the way back down, and interestingly enough, came down to 1514.14. And if you remember from our previous days, we'll extend this over a little further, just add another day on this, and our price here, 1514 held again. Unfortunately, I didn't have an alert, I didn't have anything, I missed that, and that would have been a great place to get in, just ride it back up to the high or near the high. Anything like that would have just been a great place, just like the previous day, buying off of 1514. That's been an established price. And I didn't do that, but I was watching it later, and it continued making this move, made a new high. This looked like an inverted head and shoulder with a retest, and I got in on this candle bullish with a stop below here, and it just chopped and then was charging higher. And I tightened up my stop, had my target set, around the high of the day, and it just didn't get there. And because it was just chopping through here and then again through here, my stop got hit, and I was stopped out for a small loss. I think on maybe this candle or one of these candles. Just the premium was diving out of this thing. And then it just ran back down, came back into the same zone here that it was chopping around, and then came back and actually closed below the 15, 14, 14 price that we've been looking at. So I want to zoom back out a little bit. So again, 2 trades, loss, almost, I think it was a full hour loss on the first one, and the second one was about a quarter hour loss. Kind of disappointing, but the trades just didn't work. It didn't just continue higher and to make to get back up to this high. But what I realized, looking at it afterwards, oops, where's my drawing tool? The highs that we made in here, and I'm going to have to move that back down. This drawing is not cooperating with me doing a recording. So we're going to try one more time. And if it doesn't work, I'm just going to describe it. There we go. There we go. All right, I thought I'd be able to do this a little smoother than that, but what I wanted to sketch in here, I think the price was $15.26, $15.25, something like that, and then $15.25 again. We'll just draw it in like that. And I wanted it a little higher, a little bit higher. There you go. So the highs it made yesterday is where it paused today. Sorry, we'll zoom back in. The highs it made yesterday are where it paused today. Makes sense. Old resistance, new resistance. Broke through. That's what I was getting at on that candle. Came back, did not hold, and did not bounce. So that's still good resistance. Came back down to our support. Should have bought here and should have taken a trade to ride it right back up to here. I should have exited, but when I bought here with a stop down here, I should have exited right here. I was doing it with the options. I was in the earlier trade, I was in the 1540 call expiring Friday, and I think I got in on this candle at the $7 price, and then stopped out, I think on the next candle, something like that, for our loss. And then later I was trading in the 1545 call expiring this week, and I got in on, I think it was this one, 350, something like that. No, 375. And it just chopped, came up. I could have exited here, could have exited on any of these candles, and instead just trailed or tightened up my stop to 350, and then I believe I got stopped out on one of these candles. That one, 346 was my actual stop. So I actually got stopped out way down here, and I don't believe I was watching the trade at the time. But again, just hoping, incorrectly hoping that it was going to do more to continue higher, and not realizing until later I just didn't have the line drawn in, seeing that that was the right place to get out, and even potentially to reverse the trade and go bearish here. We know we have resistance here. We know we have support down here. If you just look at the end of the day here, this would have been a great place to see, okay, that's a candle with some selling at a resistance. Here's the breakdown of that candle. You could have gotten in, the low, below the low here with a stop above the high of this candle, and just ridden that back down to the 15-14 level. That would have been a great bearish trade off of resistance, just like the trade earlier would have been a great bullish trade, buying right at this support or in that area. So again, I just traded like a noob today and learned some things. Had a little more than an hour loss between the two trades, 1.25, 1.3 hour, I think, loss today. Learned some things, realized I had some things missing from my chart. And again, coming back to the daily, I was just looking for more to happen in this area, and we've just been sideways. This is a great flag pattern with making new all-time highs, but the bodies of the candles just looks like it would be an incredible place to gap up. That's what I was looking for aggressively in the hourly, and so I was expecting more from these candles these days with that that squeeze having triggered, but I wasn't necessarily trading the chart in front of me. The chart in front of me has some great pullbacks, some great levels, And it's easy to see, okay, get in above that or get in here, go ride it up to that old resistance, trust it as old resistance, and reverse, ride back down. There's moves in here that they're bound by the low and the high that are drawn in on the 5-minute from the previous day. And looking at the last couple days here, you can see we had things bounce up. Even though this was overnight, you can still say, okay, 1514 up to 1526, back down to 1514, just chopped around, probably would have been stopped out like I was. And then, if you were to buy in or, short off of that high, back down, so you're shorting down to 1540. I keep saying 1540, sorry, 1514, buy at 1514, ride back up, reverse, sell it, ride back down. These moves, they were bound by, really the high and the low back on these days. And really, the 1514 was established on Monday, the high of 1526 from Tuesday, and it just repeated again today. So just interesting to look that, the prices were holding so well and just was not breaking out like I was looking for it to do. And just like I was aggressive with some of my entries, I should have been aggressive with getting out and moving my target closer when things weren't cooperating, because this in here was just chopping along. Getting on this candle, just kind of chopping, and then continue to chop up. These two candles were great, and seeing that strength come in right into the resistance, should have gotten out. So I learned. Hopefully you learned something by taking a look at the trade with me. And thank you. This was Justin AMZN.